Hi there. Okay, today I've been hand shaping a pair of coral reefers, which is the perfect answer for Indo reef surfing. Like, I've got my minigun, which usually refers more to the younger guys type of minigun, and the coral reefer it's much the same thing, but it's usually for slightly older age set. It contains a lot of the same ingredients. This one here is going to be a full flex tail, and it's for a gentleman who he's a fairly big guy, so it's a big board. This is 8 foot by 21.5, 8 foot by 21.5 by 2 7/8. So there's a lot of board here, but it's a very sleek weapon, and it is in fact a coral reefer. So I'll walk you through a couple of the ingredients that are in this board. It has a single to double concave, which is feeding through to quite a substantial jet system through here, and it's feathering just very slightly to a touch of, it's basically returning to pretty well flat, touch of V right at the tail of it. And through the entry area, one of the key ingredients, this is what I call a chine, which is a boat building term. This is a spiral twist control plane which is running through the front, and it establishes a beautiful line for the board up and through the vortex. Fantastic for late takeoffs. If you're just getting poured out of the lip, you just put the board on the slight angle, and the board will pick up on this spiral entry and just feed like automatically through a turn and up into the vortex on automatic pilot. You can see it has quite a substantial concave, about 4, nearly 5 mil of concave. It's got a classic outline, classic rounded pin outline. This one's going to be a thruster, full flex tail, and it also has a lot of what I call hidden foam up in the chest area here, so that you've got really a lot of wave catching ability. You can get around easily, you can cross the reef, get out there. You can stroke this board really hard and get around, and you won't get tired. And so there's your hidden volume factor, and then it comes down to a really sweet rail. So for what's basically a big board, this is going to be a very sweet ride, very sensitive, extremely quick, and once the flex goes in, it will have that power reflex, which is absolutely distinctive to our own flex tails. So that's the 8 foot flex tail coral reefer. Now this one is another custom I've just shaped this morning for Jason, who's a regular client. He's got an Indo trip coming up. This one here, he's a fairly big guy too, he's 95 kilos. This one here is 7 foot, 19.25 inches by 2 5/8. Again, you can see classic outline, classic round pin outline, very schmick bottom shape, a lot of the same ingredients as what we just referred to in the 8 footer. It has a spiral twist chine or control plane through the entry, quite a substantial single concave, feeding out into a considerable double, so it's really got a nice jet stream happening here. And it's returning to almost flat at the tail, which tends to hold the board on the water and give a nice feeling of control. Other ingredients in this board are rockers are a key ingredient in every surfboard. This one here has a relatively straight central section, which I call an accelerated rocker, and it's coming to a nice sweet nose entry, sweet tail turning curve, and of course everything has to be connected in an organic type of form. And then the concave line is a distinctly different line to the original curve that was cut, determines how the board turns and links from rail to rail. And the concave is basically one big Venturi jet, and it contains a completely different line. It is approaching a parabolic arc, which is a mathematical curve that occurs a lot in nature. And it's actually a mathematical progression curve. You've heard of your parabolic dishes. What it is, if you've got a rock and you throw it off a headland, the rock will go out, and it has its maximum curve at the top of the trajectory, and as it comes down and goes faster and faster, it'll go straighter and straighter. And you can map that curve, and that is a parabolic arc. So that's one of the main ingredients which I shape in all of my various concave systems, and it depends where they lay in the board. There's a lot of subtlety in hand shaping an outer-on surfboard, and over a few of these little YouTubes I'll attempt to dial you guys into what it is we're doing here at outer-on surfboards with these hand shapes. So that's one sweet 7-foot coral reefer.